Yes, man! What the rock is cooking?
Recording live from two locations.
This is Past the
I am Patrick, and right now, currently, for this half of this week, I am joined by Jacob, aka Bethke.
Magically, though, people can still just consume Caesar and I at the same time, no matter how you get us in the recording booth. Very beautiful.
Yeah, we could work on getting AI for each of us to just fill in.
That sounds like almost a bit worth trying, but then I'm still too far into the anti-slop part of AI. I'm pro AI overall. Anti-slop as best as I can be.
And yeah, the amount of resources it takes to make any of it work is a problem to be solved hopefully sooner rather than later. But
a lot of industry that could use AI. Not a lot of regular folks. That's the best way I think I could put it.
But yeah, we'll get into it. I'm just gonna re-pull up this rundown.
But we're actually segueing in a better way here because we're doing this because I will not be able to attend our regular recording because I'm going to see Doechii live with the wife. This is because we live next to Toyota Music Factory out here in Irving. They don't have a lot for her. Often these are me shows if we find tickets to this, get those $25 lawn tickets, you know.
Yeah.
And they're usually it's not great, you know what I mean? It's not her selection. So this one we had to pull off. You've recently also been jamming live.
Yeah. So last week we talked about the Turnstile show, and I thought I'd go for a slightly different experience. Went down to San Antonio to the Alamo Dome to see Sir Paul McCartney on his hilariously named Got Back tour. Paul McCartney got back.
So when was the last time he had toured? Because I think he was at Dickies not that long ago.
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen him. Might as well get in on that while I still can.
Yeah. No, I think that now that I've officially put one of the biggest finances of my life behind me, I am now ready to experience enjoying things again and finding concerts of people who might kick it soon. For sure, going to be on that. We're a concert group.
The cool thing about him is it still sounds great. Like it's, obviously he's a little older, but I've seen people who are not that far, who are touring the album they just came out with that don't sound good. So it's cool that he still maintains just a quality show from a singing standpoint. You hate to go up there and see someone you love, watch them struggle for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of why Led Zeppelin wouldn't necessarily come out, because Robert Plant's solo stuff was stuff that did kind of feel like Robert Plant old could sing. But Robert Plant old singing Robert Plant young was kind of a difficult task. And I think they even had to change the way they played.
Later Rush shows, most songs are down an octave.
Did you think that anything was different about the McCartney show, or did you think this was probably what you've been getting for him?
It seems like seems like he's just the most professional and really skilled and talented at being consistent. I'm sure he was a little more fun when he was younger and could do a little bit more on stage.
Right.
He did do the Trump level geriatric kind of like dances.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
I think with people like him and even with Trump, it's like they're for so long, every single thing they've done has made people like smile and clap that they just don't even know how to act like humans to some extent.
I would say especially him, because with this guy, it's 70 years. I mean, that's the one thing is Ringo has just sort of been coy, hiding out, always kind of was.
He gets the same reactions too. It's just, yeah.
He does. It's just, I would like to, there is a curiosity that comes with just specifically being Paul McCartney, because like he really did put in 70 years of this shit. But depending on what history you believe, you might have saw it fall.
Yeah. doing it. There was a newer song that he wrote for his current wife, who was there.
No, dude, that's the one. That's the easiest thing to rip McCartney on, though, is the decisions.
Some of his grandkids were there, and he's like made some kind of joke about, can you imagine seeing your grandpa rocking? But he started with Help, which I know he hadn't done like the full length Help before this tour in a long time. I think he had like done it in medley version. So that's cool.
Yeah. I thought he had always done. I thought he was a big medley kind of
a few years on that one.
Yeah.
But so yeah, he starts off with the bass. He plays Help. A song called Coming Up that I don't really know that well.
Coming up.
It's not. Yeah.
It was Paul McCartney's early '80s phase for sure. I'm pretty sure that was what happened.
Actually, I want to look this one up really quick, see if it's the one I'm thinking of.
I know that one. Did he do the one that came out when I was a kid? Everybody gonna dance around tonight.
Oh yeah. So, okay, I don't even remember him singing this song. It's probably just because I didn't know it. So
you shared me the track with the title, so
and my friend Peter were probably just talking a little bit during that. Got to Get You to My Life, Drive My Car. And this is the one I was thinking of. He has one called Come On to Me, and I'll Come On to You.
Oh yeah, there are some. I don't know that I'm super familiar with that one, but yeah,
I don't know that I was either. I thought that was funny. Then he does a Wing song that ends with like a little Jimi Hendrix instrumental outro, which is cool. Yeah, so he goes through mostly
the recording song.
Which one? Sorry. Oh, In Spite of All the Danger. Yeah, that was great.
I've just seen the face would have been cool for idea like that.
I've just seen the face was cool. Maybe I'm Amazed was really cool too.
Oh, Jet, you got to see Jet live. Oh my god, that would have probably been my favorite moment.
To get back to the Dance Tonight, so he starts playing Dance Tonight. I immediately recognize it, and I'm like, all right, here's my time to go to the bathroom.
That's fair. That one's fair because
and to be fair, they play the sound all the way through, like you can hear it the whole time. I'm not missing the sound.
You think those kids at the NBA YoungBoy shows are out of pocket? You should see me the second that Jet.
Jet was fun.
I would definitely be acting a fool.
I will say Now and Then does play better in a live venue than I.
Shit! Yeah, I didn't think about that when I saw it.
As an AI generated thing, but I think for the benefit of Mr. Kite, might have been the surprise of the night for me. That was really cool. I really enjoyed it. He kind of gave a little backstory about when him and John wrote it together. Just basically they were in a house and there was a poster that had like half the first verse was already like written on this poster. Kind of cool. The Something was fun.
How did he? I guess I would love to know. I might find a video later. I've probably heard him sing something before. I'm interested to hear how his rendition. Did he just do Paul voice, or did he like try to blend it up?
No. Mr. Kite, he's singing his own. He's doing.
Okay. He didn't do Lennon voice.
At his age, he's not doing impressions. I don't think.
Oh my god, dude!
Obladi Oblada, fucking wonderful.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good time.
Band on the Run. You do it. It happens.
Band on the Run would have been great. It would have been fun. You gotta have like.
There was this confusing thing. You'll see this note here where there were these two fans that had a sign that said "Marry Us, Paul," and he had shown them earlier, and they brought them on stage, and the guy proposed, and then it turns out I think that they were already married. It was a confusing little exchange, but then that goes right into Let It Be, so that gets everybody back into it. And this is where it gets interesting because all of a sudden, Live and Let Die happens, and there's a pyrotechnics show for that one.
Yes, as there should be.
And not anything after.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Honestly, I don't know because like most rock shows, Pumpkins didn't do the full thing because they only really had the background and the lights. Green Day was the headliner, so they did all the things. And they were kind of just bringing the pyrotechnics when the songs got heaviest, right? It was fairly frequent. The only reason I bring that up is just because the heat inside of an arena does become a bit of an annoyance the more that it happens.
I didn't think about that. That's fair.
So like, yeah.
But it's also weird to like slot that song as the penultimate one before the fake get off stage. Like if you're gonna do the pyrotechnics, make that the last bit.
It depends on what your bid is, you know, because I would agree, and I thought that too, but I think it's everyone finds their own flavors because it makes them more memorable. Because like, I don't know, I didn't necessarily like. I guess it makes sense, but I wouldn't consider "Good Riddance, Time of Your Life" the song I would want to end with because it's different. But it's very fun. It's kumbaya. It's a nice. It's a happy-go-lucky one.
That's your comeback from the encore intro.
Yeah. But these guys, I don't know. I kind of do want the boom. But like Kendrick one time, he gave me like 5 songs in his
the boom at the end. Hey Jude, kind of is it's another good way to end. That's the thing with Paul though, is he's got like 15 that could end anything. So
no, you're definitely not hearing at least 5 of your favorite songs.
Yeah. But then encore, he came back and I had seen he was doing this, so I was excited to see how this played out. He does I've Got a Feeling, but when it comes to John, they cut to the video of the rooftop concert and he plays along with that. And that was pretty fun. And then just ends with some Beatles hits. But super fun. It's weird. I've been to the Alamo Dome like 6 times in my life. Never seen any football happen there, but mostly been marching band events. And then
I went there back for training camp when I think Roy Williams would have been the only player ranked at least 90 overall.
They play down there, I bet. I bet that'd be fun.
UTSA?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably
not too expensive. But it's cool. I still love the Alamo Dome. It's still my buddy Peter lives really close, so we just walked from his house. It was like 20-something minutes. Not bad at all. We got in pretty quick.
The time of year you can get away with that.
What's up?
It's also just the time of year you can get away with that.
Yeah, not aggressively hot. It was hotter down there than it was up here, but only, it was like 80 something instead of 70 something. But
yeah.
Before the show, lines for merch were ridiculous, like wrapping around the arena type stuff. And then after the show, we get out pretty quick, and I see a merch stand with nobody there, and they just happen to still have stuff. So I just ran in, grabbed a shirt, a way overpriced shirt, but it's nice, and I'm happy to have it.
My philosophy is to try the hardest I can, if it is a major group, to just pre-order on their website and have it for the show, just because the merch lines can be crazy. It depends on where you go. Like if you're going to one of the arena shows,
there's only so many people that can be there. And it's even less concert because they cut out half the seats.
Because like I'll do that. Like when I did it for Nas and Wu-Tang, that was fine. Like there's moments where you can get in that line, kind of get in and out. It's not a big deal. And it probably wasn't going to oversell because again, that's like considered a discount venue or a more affordable venue in a more affordable part of Dallas. So it isn't like obnoxious necessarily. But like when it was Green Day, I'm like, no, fuck no, dude. I'm going to be at a ballpark in Arlington. Like, and yes, all of them were obnoxious. There was like entire sections of the enclave that would just be 5 lines of merch. And because it's not just Green Day, it's Pumpkins are there and Rancid. So these are at least very household names. So there's probably pretty decent groups just there to see those bands only wanting their merch too. So yeah, dude. Oh my
God. Yeah. Pretty fun. Puts on a decent show. Like I said, we were kind of sitting off to the side. So for part of the show, when the full band's a little bit farther back, you don't really see them as well. But he does plenty up on front. Keeps everyone engaged. After the last song, they came out with, he was carrying the American flag, someone was carrying a Texas flag, and someone was carrying a Pride flag. There could have been more flags, and I just didn't see them. But
no, that's fair. I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
everybody's got something like that. I feel like too, where you got some sort of. The best one I've ever gotten was Method Man announcing the Cowboys beat the Giants on Monday Night Football during the concert.
Yeah, that's what I'm about.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, but otherwise, super fun. Glad I got to finally see Paul, so that completes my 2 Beatles I could possibly see. I probably will never see him again. Can't imagine I would, but
Well, Peter Thiel's working on a lot of things.
actually,
the other guy, Sam. What's the other guy?
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman. Yeah, they're both just collaborating on bringing John Lennon back from the dead.
Well, we'll move off from the again hilariously named Paul McCartney Got Back tour.
Kind of got back.
I know in my head. Got back. But anyway, quick little dip into some other smaller sports stuff. Well, stuff we'll talk about slightly less. Star season, weird. They won 3, lost 3, won 2 so far. Back
so 2 losses are expected.
Consistency, but when they look good, they look really good, and we'll watch it progress. It's still so early. It's like 12% into the season or less.
But no injuries, no guys sucking worse than they usually suck, or better than they usually are.
A couple injuries. It's still so early. It's hard to tell. We still need a couple more weeks to see how we feel about what's going on. Brand new system, brand new coach, and all that. Mostly the same guys on the ice. But yeah, maybe more interesting for the world is the World Series, which kicked off last week. Two pretty interesting initial games in Toronto. Game 1 I didn't watch, but I woke up kind of in the middle of the night, and I'm looking at my phone, and I see that the score of game 1 is 11-4. And I'm like, oh man, Dodgers really put it to them. And I go to look at the stats. I'm like, how did the Dodgers starting pitcher give up 5 runs if they only gave up 4 all game? And then I realized the Blue Jays put up 11 runs with 1 9-run inning. Is that what it was?
There was a 9-run 6th inning that basically just turned that into what was a really good game into just a complete
Game 2, the Dodgers win 5-1. Again, I think it was close. It felt tight, but there's just a little bit of separation Dodgers had in 1 inning, right?
I've been trying to preach it. It's not just Ohtani, although we should mention plenty on him, and I'm sure you will when you talk about last night. But Yamamoto, not to be mistaken in what's going on with the Dodgers, is what Yamamoto's been doing. Back-to-back complete games, just absolutely just nails his shit right now. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see. I mean, it's the evil empire, I know, but yeah, Yamamoto's been incredible.
For sure, and they've got their share of just any number of guys you could look at and be like, don't forget.
Glass now starts 3, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot they have fucking Glass now too, and he wasn't even that good.
I mean, yeah, they've got a roster where, and we'll get to game 3 here, where at some point after the 9th inning, you just throw Clayton Kershaw in to pitch to get 1 out.
As a celebratory thing. It wasn't just any out too. They were in position to lose. He came in bases loaded, 1 out or 2 out. I can't remember. Yeah,
so let me pull up the full box score just so I don't get anything wrong here.
I think maybe was another inning. No, because Sheehan. When did Sheehan come in? Was that before or after Kershaw?
1 second.
Because that's where my pitching memory goes away, and I don't know if
I don't want articles.
I don't know. Yes.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. Max Scherzer started this game, right?
Looked really good, honestly. Had a couple that he gave up, but then they ran it.
4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. So yeah, early on, the Dodgers grab a 2-0 lead through 3 innings. Then Scherzer has a little bit of a meltdown there in the 4th. Blue Jays take the lead. Dodgers tie it back up in the 5th. Both teams split a run in the 7th. And then stuff gets weird.
Ohtani ties this thing up. And then we're like, oh, shit. But then they get smart to not let Ohtani hit anymore. So now the game becomes gridlocked.
The rest of the game, Ohtani is not allowed to hit. He's just going to be because what did he go 4 for 4?
Dude, he was he killed them on a single too. That was one of the nastiest little singles you could ever get.
And he will proceed to be intentionally walked 5 times.
Does he start tonight?
I would think so, but who knows with what happened. So yeah, this thing, as you can tell, went late.
It was 2
almost
baseball games.
almost a record. I think the time is a little bit less, probably just due to pitch clocks that weren't existing in 2018. Another game involving the Dodgers in the World Series. This thing went 18 innings.
It's disgusting.
I love it and was so tired by the end of it, finishing roughly close to 2 a.m. Central Time.
So it's also important because I believe the World Series doesn't have the guy on second rule, right?
Well, the playoffs in general, there's no
Yeah, so-
zombie runner.
I
Which
have to change it.
no.
Bro.
You do it in the regular season because they have to keep playing, but you can push a World Series game back another day if you need to. It's fine.
I guess that's fine, but also like people in Toronto, how late did they have to stay up for that game?
Till 2:40 a.m.
That's just like
Hey,
just to watch a dude hit a home run and kill it.
to be fair, the Blue Jays, at least if I remember correctly, through from the 8th to the 11th, had runners in scoring position.
Yes.
And couldn't get them across. Multiple bases loaded opportunities.
Yep.
Couldn't get runners across. Kiner Falefa, who played a pretty good game, but got thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple. The very next inning, you get a guy thrown out at home by about 40 feet.
There was a lot of reviews of plays that should not have been reviewed.
No, and then there were some that they had to where I'm trying to remember. One where the Blue Jays get a bases loaded. It's because there's an infield single, and they try to get the force out at third, but don't get it. But it was called, so then they got to review it. But it was fun. I mean, from a neutral standpoint, you just can't believe that it can keep going like that for as long as it did. And yeah, Ohtani, I believe, set a World Series record for most times on base in a World Series game, and 5 of them were walks.
And they should have been more walks.
Yeah, honestly, if you did that in the 7th, it doesn't go 18. Who knows?
Yeah. I do think that.
Who ended up actually winning it? Was it Freddie Freeman?
Freddie Freeman ends up winning it, yeah.
Was that 2 outs in the 9th? I don't remember.
I don't know. I just looked at the box.
Oh, no outs. Sorry.
So either way, dude, that was incredible.
Let's see if I got the
Evil Empire up 2-1. Game about to
They'll have a game starting in about 10 minutes from when we're recording right now.
Let me see. I bet I can figure this
I'd love to see this thing go 7 because this is fun. Not having a horse in the race, I really enjoy watching these two teams play each other. I think if it was anyone else in the American League, it might have been a sweep.
Yeah, I know. So Ohtani is the probable pitcher.
Because they obviously had a really good record, but it felt like their defense was so bad it was going to cost them in a big way. It felt like they just weren't as consistent, despite having the same exact record as the Blue Jays. I felt more confident in the way the Blue Jays were playing.
Yeah, and I think that this ended up working out well for the league more than anyone else. Toronto versus LA is good. This is the most the World Series has ever been, right?
Yeah, I guess
in a while.
Time Toronto's in it. It has been.
So
in the 90s and this one.
Yeah, so I think it's good. I do think ultimately
Miami and New York, that was good, although they were Florida at the time. So
I would say Montreal never got close, right?
No, New York and New York played though. That was a good one.
Yeah, so that could technically happen with the Jets and the Giants, and that would be hilarious.
They would have to relocate the game to MetLife. You just have to do it.
For the Jets making the Super Bowl, you have to do that anyway. I don't know. It was it's been a hell of a series. You get Justin Bieber's cousin tonight against Ohtani.
Okay, Shane.
How things go. Yeah. And then you get
national anthem time. It's getting close.
And then you get what? What is it? You think this thing's wrapped up by the time you publish?
This game?
No, this series.
No. Oh, by the time we record again.
I mean, well, definitely that. I feel. I think.
This will be published Friday morning. So Thursday morning, I mean. So there's no way it'll be over before then. It can't be.
It could be.
Thursday morning?
Dodgers win tonight. They're up 3-1. Am I wrong?
Play again tomorrow?
They play. Yeah, they play. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, interesting. They played 3 World Series games in a row, huh?
Yep.
That's nice. I like that.
Then, well, I mean, technically 4 if they do it. I mean, there was 2 last night. So, yeah.
Tonight's game 4. Game 5 would be Wednesday. So, yeah, I guess the Dodgers, if they win tonight, and it could be done.
The Evil Empire, man. Who's the probable for... Oh, back to Blake Snell, though. So that's an interesting one. I mean, I know what a shitty life for the Dodgers to have to turn to Blake Snell.
Well, it's fun. I'm glad there's a good World Series happening. We could use it before we got to watch illegal gambling sports, and this is a good transition.
Oh man,
got to watch
National Betting Association,
the National Book of America. Lots of stuff we could go with there, but yeah.
I think it's important to preface this conversation with: did you watch the Pablo Torre thing from today?
I was not able to get to that today,
so I won't spoil too much from it. But there are a couple of things.
David, what's his name?
Yeah, David Sampson and John Skipper. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we might have jinxed this a little bit. I did say Bethke versus Vegas last week, and then Vegas was like, "Oh, bitch, what?"
We got to deal with actually, guys. We can't do Bethke versus Vegas this season. It's stuck in development hell.
Oh my god, yeah, that one's a tough one. That's a tough beat for us.
Remember the mob?
La Costa Nostra, bro. That's where we're at with this. Chauncey Billups and La Costa Nostra. LeBron, Le Costa Nostra, James.
And the most famous most famous basketball playing non-basketball player of all time, Antonio Gates, might be wrapped up in this too.
God damn it. I still feel like that's Gonzalez, but yeah, he did start the meme. Gonzalez wasn't the meme. Gonzalez was the precursor, but he wasn't the meme. Gates is the meme.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a tough one. Chauncey Billups.
Did this all happen after
I don't even know where to start with this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the next morning, Kash Patel and his renegade band of DOJ workers held a press conference to announce the arrests in a case that they've been working on, the DOJ, I mean, for a very long time.
It really does feel like watching him do these press conferences feels like Wes Anderson skit. Like
he doesn't move his neck very much.
Honestly, like the whole administration feels like kind of like a Wes Anderson fever dream.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but Kash Patel barely really spoke. He just kind of had some things to say. It was more interesting what the other guys had to say. One guy was really lame, and he was like, "You could bet on that." When it's talking about the DOJ coming after people who rig gambling.
Cool name, though, right? It was like Operation. What was it called? Nothing But Net.
Oh, is that what the operation was called?
I believe so.
But I thought it was. Okay, that's a funny one. So. Yeah, I mean, the NBA is directly in the line of fire here.
Okay, so it was Operation Nothing But Net. Oh, sorry, Nothing But Bet.
Nothing But Bet. Yeah.
And Operation Royal Flush.
Royal Flush being the card game.
Sounds like Chauncey named in both of these.
I don't know. I think he's called co-defendant 8. But yes, I think that's.
But that's where the story begins.
Definitely looks super duper fucked.
For most of the world, we woke up Thursday morning to reading Chauncey Billups has been arrested.
So I guess let's summarize this the best. If you're watching this now and then you don't know anything else about it, the NBA, as a result of the Jonte Porter stuff, which we talked about, and as a result of the Terry Rozier thing, which we knew about, and not necessarily Michael Beasley or Malik Beasley, but adjacent to the Malik Beasley story. I don't believe I think he's seems like Malik Beasley's clear-ish, in the big scheme of things, but in the NBA scheme of things, he might be radioactive.
They can't get him because he's not fraternizing with others who are doing it. He's just got his own private book going on.
I'm a little confused at how Malik Beasley fits into all this at this moment. So we're not going to talk too much about him. Hopefully, we'll know more soon. Because now we have a much bigger picture here for Adam Silver's league and what's become of the legalized gambling, which Pablo Torre in his show, I think people should always watch that. Today was very important to this conversation, so I don't want to completely plagiarize, but some of the highlights were reminding everybody that Adam Silver was the one who initially wrote an article about legalizing gambling for sports. There was a conversation brought up about Adam, which I actually shared with you guys in the group chat, about Adam talking about prop bets just a night before this got announced, basically, or 2 nights before it got announced, whatever it was. So there was an unfortunate look for Adam Silver. There was a little bit more in that whole podcast show that I think was good, but mostly that's important. And it brings me to the question here. If you're power ranking who's fucked, my power rankings, Chauncey Billups, Adam Silver, Terry Rozier. Because Chauncey definitely looks guilty as fuck. I don't know, but it looks pretty bad for Chauncey in a lot of ways.
And not working in his favor is the rest of his history. So,
yeah. Well, I don't know how much that matters here, because I think that,
it's just
pretty much adjudicated that.
It's like, well, now with this, now everything, it's like, all right, man.
I think there was a lot of people who had it out for him more than these other people specifically, but I think his own actions, if they are true, which we also should put in this perspective, we are neutral, we are idiots. I am wearing this hat in jest. I do not work for the NBA or represent them, although they might need it soon.
He's our Rob.
Yeah, I am just Rob Lowing it. So the thing is, I don't know, I don't know if this is politicized at all as retribution for the NBA being so dickish to the Trump administration for the first 4 years, and I'm sure getting ready again for the next few. But it doesn't feel not like it's a part of it, because everything the DOJ has done is that.
Aren't all the big owners donators anyways, though? Like,
yes, but no, because it's like, I don't think Dan Gilbert buys like the affection of Donald Trump whenever the whole league, in a lot of the culture of the league, stands pretty firmly left and like pretty far left in a lot of ways. Like, if you extend to the WNBA, you're bringing in LGBTQ audiences that are obviously not appealing very much on the other demographic as well. So it's, if you want to go that route,
Dan Gilbert's met Trump at the White House.
Exactly. So Trump will have his boys, but it'll probably be like,
I just assume pretty much every governor is in that.
You have Adelsons run the Mavericks, obviously. There's no one more in touch with Donald Trump than the Adelsons.
Yeah, so, I don't think Steve Ballmer's exactly button heads with him.
Ballmer's probably, there's probably a maintained distance, because Ballmer, until recently, hasn't been too stupid about these things. So, yes, but ultimately, the rich dudes who own it aren't as important as the league, whose players and fans are constantly at odds with the administration and all that. It's fine. I don't think this stuff really matters that much. Obviously, this was a DOJ investigation that existed prior to the Trump administration. Now, if it's politicized, all they did was rush it to the finish line, which, again, if they did that, they probably fucked the case. These guys might not get in trouble. So I don't either they were ready to, either it's just a coincidence of time, and this was the first thing that Kash Patel's DOJ can get some substance on, or this is just.
I obviously need to read more. If the poker stuff was first, and then somehow that led into.
There's also a part of this where you wonder if the crypto isn't about it, if there's any crypto or Trump friends that were scammed in any of these practices is also worth noting. And then I think
poker games, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the thing about the betting is all like only the house would lose, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, it brings a different conversation, which is what I want to actually talk about.
Well, I guess there would be
I
someone
just
who
wanted to.
and not turning the ball over 4 times a night, but
Far be it for me to defend the administration. It's not my bag. I'm just going to say that it feels like if you're going to consider it politicizing, it's not. If it is, it might be in a negative way to the administration. Actually, hilariously enough. So I'm not too worried about it.
Why they announced these together and that kind of thing, because it's
that's what I mean. It's just like this is a very petty, dickish administration.
Although, maybe once they're springing the trap on the gamble or on the poker one, they're like, well, that's gonna spook the guys who we know about in this one, so we got to get them all now.
Right, and I'm good with giving them the benefit of the doubt on it because ultimately it doesn't matter either way. It just clearly was coming down one way or another, and this gets us back to Adam Silver, where so Chauncey Billups, I guess to finish up on his, Chauncey has poker games where he was using like card glasses to read cards.
The families were running these high dollar poker games, and they were bringing in marks with a lot of money to cheat out of their money.
And what were these marks called?
Oh, I didn't get that.
They're called face cards.
Really?
Yeah. So they were a face card. That was their slang.
Genius. They're using X-ray tables, X-ray glasses, marked cards. Sounds like a pretty cool operation.
Yeah, and it does seem fair, and again, it all seems fairly believable.
A Louvre heist.
Part of what Pablo's podcast gets in is they talk about the reaction that people have about rich people gambling. Why would they do that? It doesn't make sense. It's like because again, we just aren't ready to talk about greed as an addiction.
Well, and also like I guess depending on the levels of gambling, like gambling's very different for me than for someone who's got.
And it's fun for these people. There's an adrenaline rush in gambling specifically. Yeah. But some of these are not people gambling. I guess the question is like Terry Rozier seems to not have necessarily gambled himself.
No, it was insider trading.
But yes, was a part of insider trading.
Although his is a step further because it does feel like.
And he may have.
It's tough not to watch it in retrospect and be like, oh, he obviously did that on purpose, but.
And so, again, power rankings, and then Damon Jones is very irrelevant. The only reason Damon Jones is involved in this is the clutch LeBron aspect of this. But funny enough,
he was giving out info, so.
Yeah, and he's fine. Obviously, he's been around. He's a very close person to LeBron James, so I understand that. Maybe, again, if you're going the politicized angle, that's why Damon Jones is wrapped up. But he still did part, so it's why it's tough to get into those parts of the argument. But Chauncey's fucked. I think Chauncey, unless something drastically different is uncovered under this investigation going into trial and being sought through the legal system, it seems like he's about to get Pete Rose the fuck out of basketball pretty hard, either by Adam Silver covering his own ass.
He's not even close to the level of player that Pete Rose was. I mean, Chauncey Billups was an incredible player, but I don't know if
and off to a decent start as a coach.
Pete Rose, the most hits of all time. Like this is.
Yeah, Pete Rose is a big deal.
Yeah, but, I think we're young. Some people are not. We're not young, but we're younger than him. So I think sometimes people just think of Pete Rose as a gambling guy. They forget.
Oh, and the same will happen of Chauncey Billups' career, more or less, is what I would have to assume of this. So I don't really feel like there's much to go on Chauncey. Unless he's not guilty and found not guilty, it seems, even in that point, I don't know how they move forward. Adam Silver...
It really doesn't help him that he's the Jailblazers coach.
Yeah. He brought the name back. Adam Silver, though, it is interesting because... he's not a bad it does feel far-fetched that his head would be at the stake, but it is tough. In his favor, in his credit,
it's going to be the Tim Donaghy of this thing, and it might be Adam Silver.
Well, and then now you also have Donaghy talking about how David Stern killed the original thing.
So pay for Stern's crimes, and then he's gonna have to go away because they don't want to find any more of this.
And it's possible that it could go further, and I'm interested genuinely.
There are more names.
I don't think it is. I think Adam Silver got caught up in his own game, and it's very fair. And it's what a lot of Pablo Torre's thing hinged on today is that he even said it. It's going to make it easier to catch the guys if we legalize it. He probably didn't want it to be the NBA that was getting thrown through all this.
Although, yeah, maybe he's just breathing sighs of relief that is Terry Rozier and not.
Well, so I think that
not a bad player, but
I don't think so. I think he's frustrated. I mean, at this point, it's not just that. It's
it's not
players officially.
It's not hard.
Jontay Porter.
It's not flag.
They claim Jontay Porter's life was threatened in all of this,
and that's a whole other side of it. Especially with I would say that'd be Chauncey's only way out was to be like, look, what was I supposed to do?
But again, Jontay was being threatened for debts he had already, so it is one of those. So I'm interested into just taking this into the prop bets zone because that's where the meat of the story is. The prop bets should have been handled better. The prop bets need to be handled better. If I'm a bettor on my own accord, I probably am staying away from any sort of action that an individual actor weighs heavier than anything else, because this is like more like this is just the unders got to go. Like I just for personal unders, like if I'm the league, like I think I really do have to. And there's a notice that went out and potentially said this kind of stuff or something similar to it, where the partners.
So you're moving unders.
Well, yeah, I mean the unders are where all of this action came from, and it's pretty obvious that that's the one that could be the most easily manipulated. So it has to go, and I don't really care.
I guess you could just try to spam assists and hope your teammates shoot it and make it.
Yeah, but there is also there was
directly.
We've seen Larry Hughes try to fuck up his own shot to get a rebound. I think it was to get a triple-double once. Like we've seen stupid things for the sake of stupid things. That is still a part of the betting process and is more or less fair, even if it isn't quite fair. Like this is just a part that needs to go. And again, if I'm the leagues, I can't tell them more to move away from individual actors having this much. Like that is going to get you in the ass a lot. I don't care if you're the NCAA, if you're the NBA, I don't care who you are in between.
The question is how much money do they make versus what is the financial cost of the punishment? Because they're probably going to say it's worth it because it probably is.
And it's possible. Then the second part of this comes in, and David Sampson mentioned this on the show where he was talking about the strict rules the NBA has to report. Obviously, I don't really know what you can do about the Terry Rozier thing if a guy plays and doesn't play. Jontay Porter was kind of gaming the system in a weirder way. So you're still going to have to find it. You're still going to have to work against it in those two examples. But in the case of like LeBron James being told, like the LeBron James aspect of this, where Damon Jones told someone that he wasn't going to play and then the Lakers won anyway, which is just, I just had to mention because it's funny. It's one of those things where that's specifically going to have to be more serious. And I think for the NBA, that's a great criticism because someone who has a whiteboard and attempts to keep up and is multiple seasons attempted to keep up with rosters and who's active and who's not, nefarious stuff happens all the time. And I know the NFL is not perfect. We won't have time to talk about it this week. My Cowboys are doing some nefarious activity with the injury report right now. It's not perfect, but it's more strict.
You've never seen an NFL team list someone as DNP old.
So yeah, I mean, there's just things that probably need to get updated about the NBA, and I don't know that Adam Silver's actually gonna have to fall on the sword for this one, but it feels like he's probably gonna have to fall on the sword with this one, and he might have to.
If there isn't just like a tidal wave or avalanche to follow this, then I think he's gonna survive it with just the facts that we know right now.
Yeah, but it's going to come at a heavy toll. Like he's about to get his ass reamed, and he's potentially could be in front of Congress within the next couple weeks talking about this. So, and honestly, that's the moment Adam saves his ass, and that's why Adam has the job, and it's why I think he'll probably be fine. Is because if they get him in front of Congress, and unless he has done something or is tied to something worse, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best set. Although Roger Goodell kind of seemingly can do no wrong also at this point. But we'll
yeah. If you're power ranking the guys, I don't know how high or low Adam Silver deserves to be. I just feel confident in the same way I feel confident about Roger Goodell having job security. I feel similarly about Adam Silver
for sure. But onto the actual court, I don't have too much to bring you. I just wanted to talk about Wemby is the greatest thing that's ever happened, and no one will ever be better. No, that's hyperbole, but it is just you watch highlights. It's I think Kofi, fun sports video guy, Kofi, he was talking about like Wemby almost looks. It almost looks like he's awkward on the court just because we've never seen someone that size moving like that. Like,
of course he is.
I mean, like he's not awkward. It just looks like our brains don't know how to register it.
No, it's awkward. He stole a pass for his teammate that was literally it was after a rebound or after I don't know if there was an inbound. I forget. But there's 3 Spurs on the court trying to push the ball up, right? One throws seemingly over Wemby because you really do have to put some air to like even clear dude standing up, and he just engulfs the ball and takes it up court anyway. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was to your teammate, but okay.
His highlight package is some of the most fun I've had watching highlights in a long time. Just
and so
your audacity of some of the moves is hilarious.
The availability is a big part of this season for him, and so far, I don't think there's been any sort of conversation about him needing to play less or anything.
No,
so we'll see how that goes.
He hasn't really been. I mean, he hasn't needed to play a full game or anything. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, I just really don't know what they're
really good. Everyone seems to be better. We're still missing a couple guys, so I'm competitive for the year at least.
Spurs have made some funny transitions over the last year, and I think that Zach Collins to Luke Cornett, but I do think there's an awkward situation in San Antonio now.
It's not a fully fleshed out team.
For a couple guys though.
But yeah, I think it's a good problem for them to have right now where they're not expected to win. Let's figure out what we like and what works.
Expectations are not the Spurs, as long as number 1 is playing basketball games, you can go ahead and put them in 1 through 8. I don't know which one they'll fall in, but they're in 1 through 8 somewhere.
Castle looks already like he's taken such a big step, but you just don't notice it unless you're really watching because you're just watching Wemby the whole time.
And Dylan Harper is an incredible kid. He probably could have deadlifted a shitty roster by himself this season if he went elsewhere.
Shouldn't skip over the fact that getting a number 1 and a number 2 within 3 years of each other should be a good thing for your franchise.
And your number 2 is a guy who would have went number 1 in almost any other draft,
for sure. And the guy 1, he's being forced to do all kinds of stuff he's not used to, and it's not him.
So Kurt Goldsberry had a couple of funny things to say. This is
Cooper flags any kind of disappointment. I just don't think he's having a good time.
No, I'm bringing up Kirk Goldsberry because it's a good transition. We're going to focus on just the 2 teams. As far as the NBA goes, who knows what's real and what's not this far. When it comes to Wemby, Kirk Goldsberry mentioned and brought up numbers that show how much better the shot selection is with Wemby. There's also some hilarious early season paint protection numbers with him on and off the court. So that's just fun. We'll keep seeing things from Wemby. Yes, he's amazing. Kirk Goldsberry also had one of the funniest quotes I've ever heard, in which he dissed Anthony Davis in what I have to say, for a man in Anthony Davis who gets dissed a lot, this has to be the worst diss I think anyone's ever given to him. And I don't mean that as a compliment. It actually just does not make logical sense what Kirk Goldsberry said. He said, I've never seen Anthony Davis be looked at and just walk down and beat up like he was on opening night. And I'm like, bro, have you watched the rest of the games? No one knows what to do with number one. I watched that first game. Anthony Davis played his ass off. He did his job.
The point of that is to say Anthony Davis is such an imposing.
If the full context of the quote was definitely derogatory to Anthony Davis. He even called him fat a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Kurt Goldsberry's a Spur guy, though. That's why. He's a Spurs guy.
Even this guy is having trouble because Anthony Davis has never had someone who can keep up with over him.
This is true, but I think it's a bad way to indict Anthony Davis's current physical shape.
Yeah, it's not
not
the lane I would take.
I watched the game, dude. He actually was trying his hardest. I think he still probably has the best job on Wemby I've seen so far this season. But it ain't.
Right. Anthony Davis isn't probably going to be playoff Anthony Davis on opening night.
Well, and then that gets to the Mavs of it all, and the Mavs are not awful. They might start their season off with a pretty tough record.
Game 3,
they're 1-3, I believe, to start the season.
Okay, so they did win their third game. Okay,
yeah.
Losing to Spurs, whatever. It didn't look good though, and then losing to the Wizards is
not good. But it's the Wizards playing all of the veterans that they have on their roster before they tell them to fuck off or trade them.
Yeah.
So there's CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton are on this roster. They've got really talented young guys and Sar. There's some talent there. Bub Carrington. There is some talent.
Marvin Bagley's there.
Marvin Bagley was actually pretty good that game. They got killed by I'm still learning it. Keyshawn George, I think was his name. Is his name second player? Yeah, they got fucking torched by that kid. But yeah, so Mavs are not in an awful position, although their backup point guard, who potentially could have been the starting point guard, got arrested for pot at DFW about a few hours ago.
Who?
Brandon Williams, kid who ended up playing really well last year at the end of the season, and then. Look,
there's a lot of crimes. I'm not going to be say it's cool, but I can wrap my head around and understand. That's one I
have more questions because I looked it up. He's from Los Angeles.
He's on a team playing?
There was no, he's not healthy right now, so he's not technically. He probably isn't necessarily needing to be with the team. So he could have just been going back and forth from home. You know what I mean? And as someone whose wife is from LA and occasionally makes those trips, it's $60 for a lot, and it's $60 for a little here. So the desire is strong
to where I'm not. There's either nothing left or someone else is taking it because it's not worth.
The desire is strong though, and I feel it. But if you bring the flower with you, you're probably going to get caught. If you do the carts, you're good. If you just do the carts, it's very easy actually.
You're more likely to get away with it. Yes.
I would say if you don't get away with it, I'd be concerned on how you fuck that up.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You probably were on the plane. That's probably what you did. Yeah. But no. Yeah, not a good look for them. But anyway, D'Angelo Russell. It's technically who should theoretically be their starting point guard right now with Kyrie hurt, but it's D'Angelo Russell, and frankly, I think Cooper Flagg getting this experience while they're figuring out the roster and what it looks like isn't the worst case scenario because what D'Angelo is. D'Angelo comes in. If he's good D'Angelo, you leave him in the game. You have a great time. The second that he starts to sour like a banana, you know what I mean? You gotta eat him. You gotta do something. You gotta move on quickly from D'Lo when he's bad.
And yeah, I think some of the discussion I heard once I got back into DFW, and I turned on sports radio around here, they were talking about the concerning thing would be that. So you can have D'Angelo Russell be that guy, be your guy who scores you a bunch of points, but then all of a sudden you don't have. Well, maybe they don't even on the roster without Kyrie have any kind of playmaking ability. Teammate
shooting is also a little no.
Yeah, maybe go out there and get you a bunch of points, but it's not necessarily helping the team win.
I think there's some clusterfuckiness, and I think that no matter what, if this roster is super talented and can work together, it still hasn't even had enough time to. So literally, there's all the problems right now still for the Mavericks. Cooper Flagg masked them a little bit, but now we're back to basketball, and we say, hey, this franchise still has a lot to kind of figure out about its direction because these two timeline things and Kyrie's injury, and there's just a lot of drama this team left us with basketball-wise, let alone the Luka trade of it all, or maybe nefariously getting the number one pick or whatever else, or the sale of the team.
And I guess we should also here, because I don't want to forget that the Mavs did, in an attempt to do some kind of face saving, announce that they're going to retire Mark Aguirre's number finally. I don't know if you heard of Patrick Dumont talking to him, but I don't think Patrick Dumont has ever heard the name Mark Aguirre or has any idea who he is.
No, and that's probably the best for it. That's probably the best for the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's cool. I'm glad they're doing that.
It needed to be done. They also need to stop the 5-year rule on the greens. Couldn't hate it anymore if I tried.
We'll see how they handle that with the Kobe jersey, which 24 gets more prominence.
So I don't think there is a Kobe jersey in the arena. I think this actually makes it simpler. Is you just have the Aguirre. But it is funny. Like, what if they just put Kobe in the corner of Aguirre's?
Really, just erase that part of Mavs history. And then the last little bit, I guess, ties back into our very, very brief Dallas Stars talk. Is we had a story that came out sometime today that the Mavs are filing a suit against the Dallas Stars, claiming grievances that the Stars are breaking a clause in their original American Airlines contract that the Stars' home office would be within the city of Dallas proper.
And it's been in Frisco for a while.
A long time. It's been like 22 years of it not being there. The Mavs filed this suit a couple days after a deal was not reached on new upgrades to the American Airlines Center. So this is where we boil down into a bunch of he said type stuff here.
He said, she said. Miriam Adelson is
Is she? I don't think she's allowed to run the business though, right?
That's probably something she handles more than Dumont.
Didn't the NBA not let her? Because they list Dumont, don't they?
Well, it's public facing.
Anyways, so basically the Mavs are saying the Stars refused something they've already agreed to. The Stars said what they wanted to sign is not what we agreed to. And the city seems to be siding with the Mavs on this at this point, at least the spokespeople for the city that we're getting from this story. Essentially, the way it's laid out, it sounds like the Mavs wanted the Stars to agree to stay at the American Airlines Center through 2061, when the Mavs would leave in 2031 to get a brand new stadium built from taxpayer dollars. So on that level, it sounds to me like I have no idea why the Stars would sign that, and I don't know why they would agree to anything that sounds close to that in the first place. So I kind of, at this point, am on their side that maybe they don't, the Stars side of this little debate. But then the Mavs filed at the end of the season, the Mavs filed that report about the Stars not having their home office in the correct place. And because of that, the Mavs have been collecting the Stars revenue from the site, but they're keeping it in an escrow account. It's confusing. So we'll see drama involving Mayor Eric Johnson and the Mavs. We'll probably learn more about that months and months from now. But
it just feels like a continuation on the arena saga.
You guys have been housemates for 25 years now, and seems like it's going to end on poor terms. And I'm really worried that the Stars are not going to be on the dart line anymore.
Yeah, no, it does actually feel very much like the Frisco Stars are in play. It does feel like that would be more of a result of the NBA choosing, and I do say NBA, and I do think the NBA should be involved in this conversation more than just the Mavericks. Because I do think the pressure comes from the top. Like I do in this situation. The NBA has made no bones about it. Every team should have a beautiful arena with this walkable area, and the NBA has this really ridiculous standard for arenas right now, and they are trying to get everyone to go by it, and they don't really seem to give a shit if you recently built it or not. So a part of that we've seen play out in Dallas quite heavily And this is not anything new. The people in Milwaukee have seen this prior to it. There's been plenty of other places. And those cities were actually threatened with relocation. Dallas isn't necessarily
up right now for a new one, and it's not like Frost Bank is especially old.
Right, exactly. And so like these guys they're serious. They want their state-of-the-art arenas, and I think it's also a big deal that they want to control them. Whereas again, when this all started, the NHL teams typically controlled the arenas, and the basketball team was kind of the secondary. So I think that's probably a part of the larger power grab. So just add that to the layers of the onion, is that I do think that it is just the Mavericks, but it feels like it's influenced by more than just the Mavericks.
Yeah, and we'll see how it plays out. It's unfortunate. It's really cool having them in the same place. It's really cool having them at a location where it's kind of, you can get to it from anywhere in the Metroplex relatively easy, and a lot more easy than you can any of the other, the Cowboys or the Rangers.
Yeah.
Getting to Arlington sucks. Even if you live in Arlington, it's probably not that fun to get there.
Yeah.
But that'll wrap up our non-football talk, I guess. Did we have anything else that you wanted to?
No, I think you killed it. Yeah, the NBA's started. It's weird. I don't know. There's some fun. There's some bad. We're excited about NBC. We're more excited about Amazon.
It's kind of how I'm feeling about hockey as well.
Yeah.
We'll do a quick little transition with this little video real quick.
This is Past the Rust.
I'm a man. Do you believe in the mean green?
Oh man, Brian Kelly.
More than I.
We'll get to
Kelly.
Yeah, it's time to talk college football. Week 10,
week 9, I believe we are. Week 9.
Yeah. The week
Close
0
though.
throwing me off.
Yeah.
All these years later.
We're getting close. We're getting very close to the end here. We will have a little less to talk about as far as games because things are a little less interesting. In fact, I only have 2 Big Ten games on my notes, so I think we have highlights for more, but like there really isn't. It's there's about 2 or 3 games every week that I feel really, really matter to the larger scale of things, and then a lot of other ones that maybe potentially could matter, but don't necessarily right now.
It doesn't make fun games to watch.
Yeah, it kind of makes it. It definitely makes it a little bit more niche stuff, or it kind of feels like you have to have a larger understanding of what's happening in the conferences now because the parity is so real in all of them. SEC is where we'll start. We're going to start with probably the most important game of the week, ultimately, even though it wasn't the biggest one by any means or the most consequential. But Ole Miss beats Oklahoma fairly handedly, scores only 34-26. But this is bad weather game. This is in Norman. Ole Miss basically controls the whole thing. Really good win here. And now, even though we were going to do it anyway, now I do feel like everyone can go ahead and pencil in Lane Kiffin as number 1 head coaching candidate unanimously, no matter what job it is.
Yeah, he's getting
in the NFL. I have some interesting questions that are becoming a big part of this. Patrick, you've played the video game yourself, right? The college football.
Yeah.
So you've been a head coach that's changed programs in that game, right?
No. I started
to experience that.
I will start over. I have not moved schools yet.
So when you move a school and you get into the college football playoff, it basically gives you like this 4-week buffer where it kind of shows you that you're slowly, but it like basically is like you're still controlling the team you've been controlling. But then as soon as you lose, or as soon as that 4-week period is over, whatever, the national championship is done, you then go on to be the next head coach. But it's like announced in your little like notes and so if you think about the canon of your video game, you're awkwardly announcing your new coaching job during a playoff run. We've never seen this actually play out. So Lane Kiffin might be in the first person to actually do this, because now Ole Miss with this win is basically in the driver's seat for a playoff spot, even if they don't win the SEC. So,
sorry, I'm trying to find this video that concerns that game, but I'm struggling.
It was pretty crazy. I am interested to see the decisions made, whether Lane stays or goes, whether anyone stays or goes. I'm just interested in the timing of it all. As for these teams, Ole Miss plays Scar next week, so nothing too crazy. Just contain Lenore Sellers, and you should be all right. Oklahoma might be our game of the week because they're going to Knoxville. And that is an important game that there's so many implications. The implication of that game is incredible.
Okay, here we go.
Were you able to find the video? Did I stall long enough?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to actually, unfortunately,
do I have one? Oh, I do have some clips from this game as well.
Quick.
I could have also just shown this. Let me show this real quick. This is, you see Oklahoma had recaptured the lead. Look at this. Blew it, and then you get another one here. I think this is earlier in the game, actually. No, this is the one that seals it. Boom, baby.
Yeah, so my buddy, who's a big Sooner fan, was at the game, and I got this message from him on the Snapchat.
Ever since I quit watching after the Ole Miss game, my life is so much better. Okay, talk soon.
Will you come watch the game with us?
No.
All right.
Slop.
As an anti-AI slop, I can't endorse that, but I respect it.
Those are the ways I do like it. Not trying to go viral, just making a funny bit for your friends. Just burning down part of a rainforest for your friends or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's an unfortunate game. I was in San Antonio and I wasn't watching any football. So I missed all of this. I did at one point see the score for that, saw it wasn't going well, saw the score for the Texas game, saw that wasn't going well. But we'll get to that
one. Yeah. That's my second to last game. The final SEC game we have to talk about is the doozy, of course. But we gotta talk a couple of notables. Vandy beats Mizzou 17-10. Not a very fun game.
Yeah, I didn't clip it, but the Hail Mary coming up like a half yard short at the end was kind of fun.
Backup quarterback almost helps win the game because of what happened to starting quarterback.
Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and play this. It doesn't look good for Mizzou's starting QB here.
Bo Peribula.
He's got one defender holding his leg, and then another defender pushing him the wrong direction over that initial defender.
Not good. Mizzou does have a bye week. You think might need a few of those?
I would think he needs like a bye year.
Yeah, no, he's done for the season for sure. So Missouri is 2, and if we're on the topic of coaches and candidates, Eli Drinkwitz may be in the best position to leave his current school and upgrade. So just leave that, and that's Mizzou's coach.
Will not require surgery and may not be season-ending.
We shall see. Like I said, they got a bye. And then Vandy will be in Austin Saturday morning. We'll talk about that one a little bit more in a second. Alab, was there any other highlights, clips from that one? I don't think you had.
No, I think it was just the injury.
Bama survives going to South Carolina. That one's fair. If you're playing in South Carolina, it's just Darude on, it's just sandstorm over and over again for hours. Exactly. It wasn't a good game necessarily. Again, this was a game actually it felt like Scar should have won a lot and many oftentimes, but one of the early plays from the game sort of summarizes all of it. So just here we go. 3-0. I mean, with the ball, I mean, we've already had a couple possessions. Oh, just catch that. Oh,
just knock it down.
Just catch it. Yeah, so that's not good. That's not the way you want to.
Pretty dangerous to be that close.
Yeah, so that's tough. Bama has a bye this week. There's also going to be a lot of buys helping us not necessarily talk about everybody all week now. And then we got to get to the Longhorns of it all before we get to the big SEC game of the week. Longhorns had one job. They almost didn't do it, but they technically did it. This game was pretty bad.
Yeah, I saw. I think what was the score at halftime?
Oh, don't worry. I have a clip that'll help you with the score. 31-14 with just a quarter of garbage time left.
Hey, that's only a 3-score game. That's really not that crazy. But it didn't look like anything was going to happen based on what Texas had done so far. So,
well, just like the Toronto Blue Jays, they should have walked Shohei Ohtani. You should never kick to Mr. Niblet. Okay, where's the? There it is. This was not good. So as you can see, Texas has already earned the ability to go down and score. So Texas still has to earn the game, right? Punt this ball out of bounds. And I like that you slowed this down. This is definitely quite unfortunate. Ugh. And Niblet just too fast. He's a big dude.
He did the same thing to you.
No, it's 3 straight games, right?
Sorry, I had to leave.
Oh, yeah, you did. No, Mississippi State was about to have their biggest win in I don't know how long.
Ever.
Not ever, but pretty close.
The special teams has propped up this team a few different times, and you got to hope the offense can take the rest of the year to make up for that slack. But Arch got hurt.
There was so much. There's also, Arch Manning is hurt. He is not. I don't know. He got pulled over in Austin today. That went viral. Nothing crazy. Just like it just looked like he was giving his information to a cop. But I don't know if he'll play. Obviously, Matthew Caldwell from Troy, the transfer. He is the backup quarterback. So Trey Owens, I guess, will be in the transfer portal this offseason. Probably that means to be in the transfer portal.
Maybe I'm not really. I don't know what.
Yeah, Sark actually specifically talked about it with because Gibson, the big running back that wore 9 last year, he did the same earlier this season. He asked the red shirt, and basically it's like if they do that in the middle of the season or whatever is basically what that is. Not a good one. Not a good one. Lots of NFL players for the Texas defense. That's good for them. The offensive line has not been great. There's some signs of progression. Arch Manning, there's some signs of progression. You have Baxter, you have Wisner together. There's only 2 losses still on the record, miraculously. So who knows with the Longhorns, but it's tough for me to be the one picking them right now. And maybe because this is the only week we get to do this, or I don't know, they've got us fairly easy. Well, at least 2 weeks, I guess, because the Aggies are on a bye next week. We got to give love to Texas A&M because this kind of is a 2-part story for me. I don't want to be the one who gets too crazy about A&M, but I will put my blinders on because there's a couple of things about A&M I really like. I like their football team. They got a lot of assholes and a lot of aggression.
Football.
Look at that. When's the last time you've seen an Aggie with even Myles Garrett wasn't getting in people's faces like that,
The most famous one is the one who gets smacked by his own teammate because he's acting like that after making a tackle while they're down 77-0.
I like the Aggies, and I like Mike Elko, and I think that he was a funny hire because of the way it happened, if you know the whole story of it. But he really was one of the best hires, and I wouldn't be surprised. A&M certainly is going to do everything they can to keep him. I won't be surprised if he's getting calls from LSU and blah, blah, blah. All these schools.
I would be shocked if he left anytime soon.
It's a tough decision for him. I think it really is. I think for him, he has,
pay him more.
do you believe that A&M will actually take the lead? Because if you're the guy and you feel like you're the guy, then you should think that A&M can take the lead.
Because
just like
you're the missing piece, yeah.
Right. But just like Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, you might start to realize that you don't get all the 5 stars you need to win. And I'm not saying A&M has that problem. I know that people can be like, oh, look at you, recruiting class.
No, and it's also just a different era now. Now there's a playoff.
Agree.
Like
I agree with that. I'm not saying A&M can't sustain and keep this. I'm saying that Elko is going to be very sought after, and that's a compliment to the program. But at the same time, it is ultimately his decision to decide whether A&M is truly this type of program or not. And I do find that interesting.
I think it's probably got to be one of the more stable, high-end jobs you can have. So,
well, yeah, stability's tough, and that's where
if they like you there, they love you there. It's not,
and that's where we come into the case of Brian Kelly, because the LSU job is now vacated. This game ended.
The last good moment of Brian Kelly.
Actually, yeah, let's get to the highlights first. You're right. Hold on. Let's get Marcel Reed on them first. Let me show you one first.
Yeah.
So this is potentially the Heisman winner this season, Marcel Reed. I don't know if he will, but I mean, he's in the driver's seat, especially after this game.
That's hilarious.
And then just
touchdown.
Very good.
LSU having that bad of a defense
Yeah.
should be fired.
And then what else you got on? What else clips did you have?
We'll start with the A&M ones. We've got a nice one-handed 47-yard catch. Do not know the receiver's name, but
it's also
pretty sick here.
Is this Concepcion? Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
No. Concepcion's not 3. I don't think he's 3.
It's something.
Concepcion is good. No, I don't know who this guy is.
Roman or something like that.
Yeah, Concepcion has been amazing for them. They transfer from NC State. Incredible kid. Has been incredible for them.
Yeah, and then we'll also watch the Aggies get a nice punt return,
which is notable because this is the one that starts the avalanche that became 49.
At this point, very similar to the Texas one, except this guy cuts all the way across the field, and no one's going to come close.
Oof.
And we'll get a little.
That was Concepcion, I believe, actually.
We'll get a little Brian Kelly here,
guys.
But the last good moment of Brian Kelly's LSU career came earlier in the game when LSU blocks his punt for a safety. But there was a little a harbinger of things to come right after this. So there's the block. That's going to be a safety. This guy's running down, and whoop. We'll watch him in whoop. Whoop.
Those sidelines are slippery, dude.
And just for fun, my favorite Brian Kelly highlight from this season, from when they were playing Florida, he comes up the sideline and gets demolished.
Oh, my God.
I wanted to bring that one back since he's going to be out of a job for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see who gives Brian Kelly a job because at this point, it might be ESPN. Let me paint a picture as to why. Yeah, I hear you, but let me paint a picture as to why. Brian Kelly is a very, very, very unpopular man. Let's start in Central Michigan. This is a story from 2019, and the reason we found out about it is because 2 of his assistant coaches, Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh, you might know.
I had no idea.
Yeah. They were invited to a party at Brian Kelly's house, to which they found out they were working as valets and to shovel snow. And then they vowed to never treat anyone like that again if they were ever in that position.
Dude, that's wild. It's Central Michigan.
Central Michigan. So this is how far it goes. Then he goes to Cincinnati and eventually spurns Cincinnati after Pike. If you remember Pike, he went on to play in the NFL for a little bit. quarterback. Cincinnati goes undefeated, almost crashes the playoff. I think they lost a game going into the final stretch, and you couldn't lose any games back then if you were one of those schools. Anyway, so he ends up going to Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame, big deal, helps lift Notre Dame out of some kind of tough times, frankly. They were good with Charlie Weiss, and then they kind of went downhill again, and then Brian Kelly was able to get this thing rolling again. But let's not forget what happened there. Declan Sullivan, a 20-year-old junior who I believe was working as a team assistant, was asked to get on a scissor lift to film practice during an extreme wind gust, a severe wind warning, I believe, as well. Brian Kelly has online faced a lot of scrutiny for that. Publicly, didn't really face that much scrutiny. Most people moved on from it. Even the parents did not really pursue anything with the case.
I mean, yeah, it's
very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, but it's not like he was like.
But it paints the picture of an asshole that would make him do this.
Sure.
That being said, let me show you real evidence that Brian Kelly's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
This is the story that came out when he signed with LSU from a recruit that he was trying to get to Notre Dame, where he was having some food at with the family. It says, if you're not reading this, he came back in, sat down, and act like nothing happened. This is the parents of the recruit talking about the coach. They know for a fact that this is when he was called to be alerted to the fact that he has been chosen to be the LSU head coach. And then he comes back inside and has another couple servings of food and then leaves. And as he's out the door, that's when all the social media shit starts going. As he's already out the door, now the whole world's been alerted to the fact that he's the LSU head coach.
You want me to be upset at Brian Kelly for passing up free or not passing up free food?
I just thought that's an incredible dick thing to do.
It's a list of things where if it was just one of them, you'd be like, okay, but all of them together, yeah.
Yes, that's why I presented all those evidence. Then let's not even forget the fact that he faked Cajun when he got to LSU. There's the cringy video I put into the intro. This man is just it's tough to win in Louisiana. There's a reason why I say Baton Rouge is the hardest stadium to be in college football by a large margin, because there ain't shit to do in Louisiana. Those people are not educated to do anything but get crazy drunk and get riled up at some football. And if you give them a good team, they're going to love it. If you don't give them a good team, they're going to actually try to murder you because they got nothing else to do. There's ladies in the voodoo dolls at every game.
The part that we may never find out. So apparently they talked him down to about half of his buyout. And they stated something about like a morality clause in his contract.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know if we'll find out more on that.
Just like Ron Washington, we'll never really know. We've got rumors, but we don't really know.
My guess is that, there's also the clip of him telling somebody that they're going to lose their fucking job. Or potentially he said that. I mean, we're seeing him mouth words. Maybe we're not correct in what we assume is what he said. But it is kind of what they were perceived. It's kind of how I was perceiving it. Either way, R.I.P. Brian Kelly. And also, welcome LSU to the table.
Yeah, and so I heard this theory today, and they were comparing it to back when Georgia hired Kirby Smart. Can't remember who it was. Somebody else was talking to Kirby Smart, someone else in the Southeastern Conference, and Georgia ended up firing the coach they had, who was doing pretty well.
Yeah, Mark Richt.
They're like, we can't let whoever it was. Now I'm forgetting who. Maybe Tennessee. Like, we can't let them take Kirby Smart. So that's the theory that maybe LSU. That's why they finally pulled the move on Brian Kelly, because they heard that Lane Kiffin might be going to Florida.
I think it's definitely a big part of the equation. Yeah, I mean, Florida, Penn State, LSU all being open at the same time amongst the other jobs that will be open is definitely an interesting conversation.
Jimbo.
I mean, the thing is we're not even done yet. Like, I definitely already see one SEC team that I talked about after the Red River rivalry. Venables could easily be a victim of this.
And they're in a war words with Lane Kiffin now because
Exactly. And here's
said that they're a better team than Tennessee or Ole Miss.
And I'm also calling BS. I think Lane Kiffin's flirting.
Sorry, Vlad Guerrero Jr. just took the lead with a 2-run shot.
Nice. I think Lane Kiffin is flirting. I think Lane knows that Brent Venables is canned, and I think he knows he needs a defensive coordinator to start off his new job wherever it is. So I think he's flirting.
You don't think he's just angling for the Oklahoma job?
Hell no. Oklahoma is not. Honestly, Oklahoma and Ole Miss might as well be the same damn job. And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. Same with Texas at this point. It's tough to take that next leap. LSU, you know that you can do it. Bama, Georgia, you know you can do it. Some of these other schools, they are 4.5 stars, but there's a big gap between
in that uppermost echelon of any of them. More than Texas.
Historically might be fine, but I think if you reasonably look at it from the last 20 years or so,
he's only had a good 20-year stretch.
20 years, but that's what I'm saying. 20 years has been
that was the first 10 years of that.
No, and it has been. It was really bad before Nick Saban got that shit right. But LSU, Alabama, and Georgia, I think most people feel are foolproof jobs if they are truly capable of the job. Florida probably is more on the Oklahoma-Texas thing. Because, again, with Florida, it was really bad. Then it was Spurrier. Then it was really bad. Then it was Urban. Then it was really bad. Or it was mediocre. For Oklahoma, you've had a lot of second-place trophies after a lot of trophies back in the 20th century. But in the 21st century, Oklahoma is a fun offense and whatever defense. Brent Venables tried to flip that on its head. Maybe another coach can deliver. Like I said, we're seeing Mike Elko legitimately have Texas A&M playing national championship worthy football. Coaching matters a lot in the sport. So I think ultimately that's what it's going to be. And I do think LSU is the most significant job, is the long way of saying it. Penn State's not to be slept on. I do think a little bit of it is James Franklin.
You can do a bit there, and no one's ever expecting that much of you. So,
but it's still big money, big program, big conference.
We might need to blow through the other conferences here.
Yeah, we got nothing crazy on this. So Minnesota, Iowa. I only brought this up because I said Minnesota was good and we were sleeping on them. They got beat 41-3 by the Hawkeyes.
Happens.
Illinois, Washington, 42-25. Illinois losing to the Huskies. Huskies are now ranked, I believe. And Jed Fish will probably be in coaching pools.
I got one clip for you from that game. The play of the year that everyone's doing, the double pass. This gives Washington the lead near the end of the first half. There is nobody near that receiver.
Not even close.
We'll get a further out view, and I left the mascot dancing in. So yeah, Telestrator will show you what's going on here. We're gonna everyone's gonna go left on the defense or to their own right, leaving a wide open receiver in the end zone.
I also want to say that the defender who closed out, I get it, but maybe you probably should have just lunged at him because he was looking a different direction than you were. But it's okay, you tried.
I thought there was no one on that side of the field, so going over there.
In the ACC, that's all for the Big Ten. The Big Ten has really been unfortunate because they have a lot of good teams, but the schedule just has not made their conference look very sexy thus far. There's been a couple of ones, but it's few and far in between where the SEC gives us at least 2 or 3 a week. Virginia, UNC. Virginia did win this game, 17-16 in overtime, partially because of Riverboat Bill Belichick and his desire to go for 2 here. So back-to-back weeks.
You play to win the game. Oh, it's so close, too.
And it's funny because, we're in a world where, 3-4 or 4-3. 4-3, Bill Belichick UNC team would look a lot different, and they're just literally fractions of inches away from this.
Yeah.
So that was big. Not as big as SMU blowing their season. Not really, but like it was pretty disappointing. Wake Forest is good. That they are a good competition. 13-12 is a really gross way to lose any game, especially when you lost it like in the waning minutes. Wake Forest should have won this in a lot of ways. End up taking a 50-yard game winner to do it. SMU has to host Miami this weekend.
Yeah.
So I didn't think SMU really had a chance at the ACC, and maybe Rhett Lashley is on his way out the door. But yeah, I think you do want to see your team go into Wake Forest and go ahead and handle that win. You know, that is kind of a competency check for a program that we have high expectations for in the future. Understanding that this year is what it is. The Big 12, the Party Conference, the Conference of Turner Sports. Brigham Young, we thought that they were going to take the first loss of their season. We thought that it was finally time. And maybe you weren't aware of this because you saw the where's the BYU Miracles? BYU?
I see it. There's BYU Miracle.
Oh, there are two. So this is how it starts. Similar to the Texas game, you're down early. You shouldn't be down. It's a tough place to play, just like Starkville. This team much better than Mississippi State Bulldogs. But yeah, Iowa State kind of handling it. You get a little bit of a closer run at it. Now it's tied. Now we're just throwing shit in the air and just getting lucky. And I have to ask you, is the divinity with the Cougars? Because let me just show you again. Bo Bachmeier, number 47. He's been the story of the year. True freshman, starting quarterback because the senior guy decided to have sex and got kicked off the team. And they're undefeated.
This feels like one of those March Madness teams that you're all the Cinderella team, but they get to the Elite Eight and just get fucking thwomped by 47 or something.
There's still a possibility of that. It could come at the hands of Texas Tech this week.
They'll be in the playoffs.
Or 2 weeks from now, I think.
I think they'll make the playoffs, and then
they're going to have to win the Big 12. Maybe
Probably.
The Big 12 gets 2 teams this year. They didn't last year, but I don't know if the Big 12 is getting 2 teams in. Arizona State lost. Speaking of, they lost to Houston, who has 1 loss, by the way, and is now one of the driver's seat teams for the Big 12. 24-16. Sun Devils banged up. Still don't really expect them to lose this game. They had plenty of opportunities to win it. Still really couldn't capture it. Ended up having to put the backup quarterback in because the starter was so beat up. Dillingham, also going to be a guy in head coaching consideration. I'm interested to see if Arizona State invests in the program to keep it atop the Big 12. But we'll see. Sun Devils are going to go to Iowa State, so that'll be a good game. Houston just has to beat West Virginia at home to continue their quest to being the Big 12 champion or playing in the Big 12 game. Then we get to the field. There's only 2 games we need to talk about here. One of them,
the Mean Green.
the mighty Mean Green Machine. We have 600 passing yards from Drew Mestemaker here. This is how he got them.
608, right?
608, whatever. He's now in Heisman consideration. And while I don't mean to be the Mean Green fan that's being a little poo-pooey of it, I showed that clip for a reason because I feel like there's a lot of my Mean Green alumnus that are excited about it right now, and I'm happy for that. We should be excited. We should get carried away. Drew Mestemaker being in Heisman conversation is absolutely fucking hilarious. This team is all checkdowns, and what you just saw is 90% of the UNT offense is get the ball to a fast white boy and block downfield.
Still got to make the pass. 70s. down there too.
Yeah, no, like this is Eric Morris is gone. Like, we're fucked. Like we're not keeping it. He's way too good to keep. He's way too good to keep. Especially with all the changes, like we're fucked. There's no way we're keeping him. He's going to another job. Like he might end up being one of the guys who takes like Iowa State if Matt Campbell decides to jump or whatever. Like Eli Drinkowitz maybe is the best case scenario, and then he goes and takes Missouri. But he'll probably still need to take one of those mid majors before he can jump into the big conference, because UNT still looked at as a bottom tier school that he is making good, not necessarily a mid major yet. Two mid majors that are having good seasons. You have USF and Memphis. Goofy ass Memphis lost their undefeated season last week in a game they shouldn't have lost to the Trent Dilfer less UAB Blazers. But now we have a little bit of revenge as they beat USF 34-31, 17 fourth quarter points in that one.
Conference.
Yeah. And so this does open up the American Conference. That means Navy. That means USF technically still. That means Memphis. And that means UNT are all basically jostling for the American Athletic Conference, which is sneaky, become one of the conferences that I guess
it's been consistent the last couple of years.
Is it right under the
Power
is it?
Four.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe even better than that. I don't know. I know that the American Football Conference pulls up the AFC in the NFL, so that's not good for SEO.
No, it's like the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, but that sounds so lame.
Right.
So yeah, Tulane also needs to be mentioned in that. Forgot about Tulane. So yeah, and then you still have Temple that's decent in that whole conversation. But that's pretty much it. East Carolina still technically, but I don't think that's at all possible. So yeah, Navy's the big one. Navy's here this weekend. Still, the lady came in as soon as we started recording, so I will have to figure out our weekend plans after that.
At least one member of Pass the Rock will be at North Texas versus Navy.
I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be cold though.
That's fine. I don't care.
It's gonna be cold.
Cold like 40s, 50s.
There's a Category 5 hitting Jamaica, and we're getting fucking a lot of cold weather as a result.
That what today was? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this brings us.
I don't know what was. Maybe it was from the hurricane. Driving up from San Antonio from Belton all the way to Fort Worth. Dust. Couldn't see. Just every 5 minutes being like low visibility up ahead.
I mean, that is basically the area you're describing geographically, regardless. So
it's usually not that.
There's a lot of there's a lot of dust to
it was weird
to make. Game of the week. My official game of the week is OU Tennessee. Couple reasons. Tennessee absolutely needs to win this game in Knoxville. OU can't afford to lose this game. Brent Venables especially, because guess what? Brent Venables gets fired, and guess who's the easiest person in the world to put in his position should he so choose? That would be Josh Heupel, former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback.
I think there's bad blood there.
Maybe. But at the end of the day, are you going to turn down your alma mater?
Well, I don't know if I think they might be the stopping.
You think Oklahoma would turn down Tennessee's hot coach that saved Tennessee and gotten Tennessee back to usefulness? You don't think that they're going to turn a blind eye to this? Bobby Petrino is the head coach of Arkansas again.
I don't know the situation well enough, but
yeah, I don't think I do either.
They might think that they got someone else. They can go get Lane or Jimbo.
Either way, both teams need this badly. Tennessee needs a win that shows their credibility. And like I said, Brent Venables is absolutely coaching for his job. He is the guy. Now that Brian Kelly's fired, we are all looking at Brent Venables.
He was kind of like Kalen DeBoer, kind of a no-win situation there. But at least DeBoer was left with a better program in place than I think Brent Venables was. But
Brent Venables probably is better if Caleb Williams doesn't leave, but then they still were fine with the recruits. They just had such dog shit offenses that I just
Oof.
Runners up for this week. Texas Tech and K-State. I know that one sounds goofy. Kansas State started off really badly this season, but have turned it around, and now they're back to their rightful spot of being the team that nobody wants to play if you're trying to finish off a good season. That's Kansas State's fucking wheelhouse, man. So Tech, you better be fucking prepared. Also, their 5-star quarterback recruit, he got injured for this season. Now it's back to the original starter, Baron Morton, who probably would have been the starter if he was healthy anyway, but that's officially now. Vandy, Texas is on the list, obviously. It's a ranked matchup, so it is worth it. It's not just homerism. But this is Texas's last breath to some extent, at least for the playoff.
This is in Austin?
This is in Austin. It also feels like a chance for Vanderbilt to really, really put the hammer down. That being said, I don't necessarily believe. I think Tennessee will win. I'm pretty sure Tech will still win, even though Kansas State's annoying as shit. And it being in Snyder Stadium is annoying. I think Texas will beat Vandy because I think Vandy's been winning very the way they've won and lost this season, even though it's just one loss, lends me to believe that the Texas Longhorns at home can handle that level of competition. Because I have less respect for LSU, because I know Missouri's flawed, I do think Texas can get this one. I don't think that means Texas is back in the playoff conversation. Technically, they will be. I do not think that I don't think either Texas or Vandy are actually legitimate playoff teams, is I guess the long way of saying that. But I think Texas will win this one. Cincinnati, Utah. This one's actually really fun. This is, I think, College Game Day is going to Utah for this, maybe. Because Cincinnati gets to play themselves. Yeah, that ain't happening. Cincinnati, Utah, massive Big 12 implications. Cincinnati is now the 17th ranked team, 7-1 loss on the season. They've got a quarterback who's also quietly but surely climbing up draft charts. So it is an interesting one to watch from them as well. But this week should be mostly simple like last week. We'll probably be doing more head coach firing talks than we'll be taking down football film moving forward. But the playoff isn't too far away. And actually, next week, we'll get to break down the first playoff bracket.
Let's run through a couple of fun little clips here from the week before we wrap it up.
Oh, we still got I know there's Montana State. We got to get to Montana State.
We got a few here. So here's Michigan State calling this no awareness. This is a 4th down play. Receiver catches it. That's first down, except he says, no, I'll go back. Okay, back over. No, I'll go back again. Will not make the first down.
Oh, no. Damn.
Downs. To Oregon. We'll get a big boy touchdown, followed by a big boy dance. Wide open in the end zone. Bobbles it, still makes catch, and gives us a little dance, which looks cool in the Grateful Dead Oregon uniforms.
Beautiful. I'm glad you brought that up. Also, Oregon won that game fine. Maybe lost the quarterback, maybe not. I don't think it'll be that big of an injury, but he did leave the game.
But they did start the game in the most surprising of fashions with a surprise onside kick from the very first kickoff.
That's fucked up.
Which they recover. Hey, man.
Up.
That's how you play in the Big Ten.
That's really fucked up, actually. That's so
next, we head to Louisville. I just thought this was a funny looking block. That's just it's gonna be kind of hard to see initially, right there. But we'll slow it down. You'll see it after this guy actually scores here.
Louisville also.
Here we go. Right here. Somehow that led to blocking the last 2 defenders. Even further, more obscure, I think, here, Montana State with our weekly hurdle. Running back through the line, right over the corner.
Oh, my God. Saquon is going to get somebody absolutely fucking just – there's going to be generations of children that won't be produced because of Saquon Barkley.
Mariota try to hurdle a defender on Monday Night Football. He does not have the hops he used to. His jump is so bad that it's not even like dangerous for him to be attempting to jump over anyone because he's not even close to over anything. He just kind of hits the guy and falls over. To North Dakota State, where a QB is going to do a pretty wild little scramble here. Back on their own, 42 was the line of scrimmage, or 43, sorry. He's going to get the first and somehow stretch that all the way into a touchdown.
Nice. Just no one on the back end cleaning that one up.
Here's a clip from Tennessee. This one's weird because the camera doesn't catch it great, but we'll do our best here. Where Kentucky's going to throw a pick six from about the 50. Ball batted in the air, caught. Quarterback's on the ground, no one there to touch him.
And if we're talking about troubling things for the boys in Knoxville, their defense made the UK football team look like it was competent.
That's kind of been Tennessee's bit for a while now. They haven't figured that part out. But
as much as I picked them to beat Oklahoma, if you're betting on the game, keep that shit in mind.
And now we're going to move into what I'm calling pure chaos for these next two plays. This one brought to us by Syracuse. Pass tipped at the line, tipped by the defender. Scorpion kicked by the receiver, caught by another receiver who's going to run it towards the sideline where he's going to get stripped.
Oh, my God.
But Syracuse will still end up securing that ball.
Undefeated Jackets.
And Kentucky with pure chaos. Let's see how many times Kentucky can fumble this ball.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait. Oh, there you go. Okay, so there's a fumble.
There's the elite tackling.
And then they're just going to kick
this
my
God.
back. Oh,
no, not another fumble.
And Tennessee's going to go ahead and land on it.
How did Tennessee not beat the piss out of this team? Oh, my God. Josh Heupel might need to
go. And they ended the first with that. So, yeah. Next, we're going to head to our adjacent neighbors across the border, our friends in Canada, where I don't know how much you know about Canadian football, but I thought I'd bring us a little clip here. So this is a walk-off rogue. So the kicker's going to kick the ball, and then this guy's going to catch it in the back of the end zone, and he's going to go out the side of the end zone, which is 1 point for the red team, which means they win. So watch this guy here. So this guy's job on this kick.
Oh, because they had their
at any point a kicker or any point a team's allowed to kick the ball into the end zone, and if the other team can't get it back out, that's 1 point for the kicking team. So whether or not he makes his field goal doesn't matter. That would have won the game, I guess. But this guy has to get the ball out of the end zone, or else it's a point for the red team. Which I wouldn't hate the NFL trying to do something like this, but never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see this being a priority.
This is a walk-off rogue. Just thought it'd be fun to bring some Canadian football.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but if you tried to show that to the average NFL fan, I think that
special teams is so much more fun than ours. There's just like times where they'll be like someone will pick up the ball and kick it down the field like a punt, and the other team will pick it up and kick it right back. And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my God, just rugby kicking back and forth.
Kofi put out a video about the Shaq versus Albert Pujols home run derby on the Shaq versus show. Absolutely hilarious. Well worth your time.
Nice. I've been watching a few of his videos.
But yeah, I think that'll
you can also plug him into the bottom here, and we might be able to keep the algorithms going. Might synchronize.
Genius. But I think that'll wrap us up here for this college football portion and basketball portion of the week. I will be back tomorrow with Caesar and not Bethke.
And I will be back next week with some more bullshit.
Yeah. Did you have anything you want to say about the NFL? You got about 10 minutes here.
Not really. The Denver Broncos thing. I'll just do this so Caesar doesn't have to. The Denver Broncos are a perfect way to show how useless the Cowboys are, because if you look at all the times they've won and lost that, you can actually probably even track the decision-making and the cheapness of each of the teams, because we only play Denver every 4 years. Mm-hmm. And this phenomenon only started happening after 1995, right? So if you follow that logic and you follow the trends, you can actually pinpoint the years that Jerry Jones has been specifically cheaper than other seasons of his own cheapness based on if we've played the Broncos. So, fun fact.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I had anything that I thought you might want to say about this or that I wanted to ask you, but I don't think I got much.
No, there's still like 15 more games left. Who knows with the NFL.
Oh, here we go. Lamar Jackson reveals he had the ping pong tables and game consoles removed from the locker room.
He's going to be head coach of the Dallas Cowboys in no time.
Here, if there's anything worth
Wasn't Lamar a healthy scratch just because whatever this week?
No, he played.
Lamar played this week?
I thought so.
No, I think it was Huntley. Well, they definitely didn't have Rush back out there. They're smart enough not to watch it.
That's all I knew, probably. They scored 41 points, and you're telling me it was... No, Lamar played. That's September. That was September.
I'm pretty sure it was Huntley.
Huntley. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah, I was under the impression Lamar was playing. That's why I picked it.
You did remind me to do my picks, though, so if I wouldn't have done that.
Oh, yeah, picks. That's what we're going to... We're gonna see if you had anything to say about.
Honestly, I'm impressed with how little effort I put into this and still coming up above 500. This might be what Jason Garrett felt like.
We're not doing spreads, so it's a little bit easier.
But
okay,
well,
all right,
enough.
Well, good luck with your stuff tomorrow, and we will maybe Saturday. If not, I will see you about 8 days from now.
I need to go figure that out.
All right, later, man.
Later.